everybody, and welcome to the Balancing Act South Florida edition. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverdi. We're bringing you local stories.
And introducing you to businesses and influencers who are making a difference.
So let's see who's making news right here in South Florida. On today's show, exploring ways to optimize your health. Unleash your best possible life with raw cold pressed juicing. Taking the stigma out of mental health. Plus, PRP, plasma-rich platelets, which is using one's own blood to inject back into the joints for pain relief. So if you're someone trying to achieve optimal health by natural methods or looking to target or prevent a problem or concern, listen up. Juicing superfoods daily can change your life both physically and mentally, specifically juicing raw cold pressed. And one local business wants to make sure you unleash your best possible life by delivering their high quality juice formulated by experts directly to your doorstep. That's fantastic. Joining me are Tayana Carper and Kelly McGrain, who founded their business Unleash Life. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Look at this. How could I not be doing fantastic? I love this. Right? This is the prettiest display we've ever had. All right, so I know there's a personal journey for both of you in terms of starting your company. So Kelly, what happened with you and why did you rev up the company?
So basically, I had agonizing back pain. I was suffering for years, yeah.
That's
and
painful.
Very. And then I had terrible digestive issues and stuff like that. So a friend of ours from India, his name is Sudhir, came here and took us to an Indian store, showed us different superfoods and herbs that we can juice with. And he says, in 2 to 3 weeks, you should start seeing a difference. And sure enough,
You did?
Yeah, my back pain started going, my digestive. I wasn't completely, healed. But better. I was noticing a difference. It was awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tayana, what happened with you?
So for me, I had cystic acne my entire life. So I've tried everything. I've tried different products, different pharmaceutical medications, and each thing had a different side effect. It really wasn't helping. So I was very open to the idea of something natural. And at the same time, I had a couple of knee surgeries on my right knee, and I was battling chronic inflammation and pain constantly. So when he had introduced this, within about 2 to 3 weeks, I noticed the inflammation in my knee was gone. I was not having the pain I was always having, and it just blew my mind. And we were like, we need to share this with people.
All right, so let's share that with our viewers. Obviously, hence, Unleash Life is born, the company. Talk to me about the science behind it, because people will hear, juices and fruit drinks or whatever. What's the difference here? So what's the science?
Yeah, so the science is most people are familiar with 3 different types of juicing. You've got your blender, you've got your traditional juicer, and then you've got cold press.
We do the blender.
Right. Okay. So blender is great if you're juicing for the purpose of getting fiber. You get all your skin and all that good stuff. The only downside is that the friction and heat that's created from the blade, you're actually damaging the nutrients and enzymes right away. So I'm sure you've heard if you're juicing at home, you want to drink it right away.
Correct.
It's literally already going bad. So with a cold press juicer, it's a hydraulic cold press. There's no friction or heat, and it's actually about 3 to 5 times higher in every nutrient level. It's been
so you get more of that, protein and vitamins and nutrients.
Yeah.
Everything you need.
Everything you need. All right, you brought everything we need today. So I know you have 4 here. I'm going to see this one first. Let's see. This one is turmeric ginger. Ooh, I love those 2. So tell me what's in here and what's the value behind having these 2 in our bodies.
So this is turmeric, ginger, and orange. The value definitely, it's one of the strongest natural anti-inflammatories you can find. Energy wakes you up.
This is good. It just was like a Shazam.
Yeah, it's like biting into the ginger root. It's that fresh taste.
It's really fresh. My goodness. All right, and then this one is bitter melon. I've never heard of this one.
Yeah.
Bitter melon.
We have this. This is what the bitter melon looks like. And just so you know, for that one, we have the ginger. So that's what people aren't familiar with the ginger. So this is the bitter melon.
All right. And what's the value of this in our bodies?
Really strong antioxidant. Anything having to do with skin complexion, it's incredible.
Is this what you used since you talked to me about the acne?
Yes.
All right. So that's
bitter
the one you chose.
turmeric.
All right. Beets. I hear beets are really good for our bodies. Why?
They are. So they're high in nitrates, which bring more oxygen to your blood. So anybody who's looking for more muscular endurance or just general heart health, blood pressure, it helps with all of those types of things.
All right, and the last one here, moringa. Now that I've never heard of.
That's exciting. That was they also call that the tree of life. So it has 92 nutrients. It's a complete plant protein. We've met people that actually can just live on They've been living on moringa for a couple of months, so it's been pretty amazing stuff.
And I love how it says 100% raw juice. Something else I love is I hear you deliver to the house, like the milkman?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, so we come to your house in a cooler bag in glass bottles and ice packs, and we leave it at your doorstep. And then we pick up your bag from the previous week, and we take the bottles back and we reuse them, so we are not putting plastic out into the environment.
Oh, this is fantastic. But you know what? It's hard to explain, but it's very fresh, it's crisp. You really feel like you're just eating the fruit as is, which is fantastic.
It's actually called live juice for that reason.
There you go. All right. For our viewers, Kelly, who'd like more information on these fabulous juices, where do they go?
They would go to unleashlifejuice.com, and our phone number is also listed there if you'd like to call and do an order.
All right, unleashlifejuice.com. Thank you
Correct.
so much. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thanks.
And obviously your face is beautiful. You have no acne whatsoever. And I'm going to keep the bitter melon to help with the wrinkles and the old aging here, you know? At 50, you do what you got to do. Thank you both. Of course, if you'd like more information, go to our website, thebalancingact.com. It's really good. Really good. When we come back, the advantages of PRP over steroids or pain medication. Stay with us. Advances in medical science and an enthusiastic public are making non-surgical procedures more common and more effective. Surgery to cure medical issues, improve quality of life, or eliminate pain, but it's no longer the only way to go. Joining me today, Dr. John Baker, an orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine, shoulder and knee injuries, and total joint replacement. He's also a huge proponent of non-surgical therapies for pain management. Welcome, doctor.
Thanks, Olga. Good to be here.
Thanks for being here. Before we talk about this great stuff, I do want to share a little bit of personal history to our viewers about you, which it just fills my heart to say this, but you served our country, do appreciate military service, U.S. Navy?
United States Navy,
Oh,
yes.
that's fantastic. Tell us a little about it.
So I was enlisted, and I was also an officer in the military. So I've been on both sides, and I was in during the time that we had a lot of conflict going on. So I was there to serve, and I got to take care of the people coming back from Afghanistan and everything, and we did a great job.
Oh,
Good time.
fantastic. Thank you so much for your service. We do appreciate it. Okay, so your offices, I read here, are located in South Florida. Obviously, you're an orthopedic surgeon, and you do surgery when it comes to people getting injured. I love how you're a proponent of non-surgical treatments, and there's something kind of new, not so new, but really getting a lot of awareness now. It's called plasma-rich platelets. It's actually right behind us right now, PRP. Tell us a little bit about it and why you like it.
So platelet-rich plasma is a very good alternative for our patients. They can come in and get that done in the office. We draw their blood there. It takes about 45 minutes for them to get the whole procedure done. We'll draw their blood, we'll spin it down in a centrifuge, and once we get that blood spin down, it's like a platelet-rich plasma.
So you separate the blood?
We separate the blood, and we take the platelet-rich blood,
okay.
and then we'll do it under sterile conditions. We'll inject that into an area where they have pains. For example, the knee, elbow, shoulder. They're using it for cosmetics also. They'll do it for facials and hair loss. So it's got a lot of opportunities and a lot of things that we were able to do with that.
Because when I think of injections, and even my stepfather, who gets, I think, quarterly injections of steroid, that's really the way to go sometimes, where people say, I need my steroid injection. How is this different, and why is it better?
It's better because steroids cause side effects. Bumps your diabetes, bumps your sugars, can affect you with that. It's your own blood. So we're drawing your own blood and we're giving it back to you to allow that to heal. So we're taking that platelet-rich plasma and we're putting it in an area which will help you heal with that. And it's used for a lot of different areas, and so you can use that to help with sports injuries.
So you can use it for like the elbow, the knee, shoulder?
Yes.
And all that pain will be better within how many days?
Usually it takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to really heal, but about 24 to 48 hours, we ask you to take it easy afterwards. And then normally what it would be is you're going to see some good relief from it within a week.
Fantastic.
Sometimes it takes 3 injections, but we'll know more about that. But you can use it for tendonitis, like the elbow, like you said. You can use it for meniscus, like the shock absorber in your knee. You can use it for rotator cuff tears in your shoulder.
Great.
So there's a lot of areas.
I know you work with a lot of athletes, both amateur and pro, so this is actually a good option for them too, to get back on the field or just back on track?
Very good option for them. You'll see athletes going, before this was really popular, they would go overseas and get it done. Kobe Bryant, for example, went over to Germany to get it done. So
right.
Some of the athletes have had PRP and they didn't have to have surgery. So it's a very good option for them to get them back on the field immediately and try to get them back to playing. And I've used it with my athletes. I do take care of some people from FAU, and I have a couple high schools I also take care of. And I've also taken care of some pros.
Talking more about pain management, doctor, your thoughts on on medical marijuana?
So I'm a big proponent of medical marijuana. I'm one of the prescribers in the state here in Florida.
Okay.
I've been doing it for a while now. It's very good for a lot of different things, and it helps patients that have post-traumatic stress disorder, HIV, cancer, a lot of different areas where it can help the patient get better with what they're doing, and it's a big proponent of it for the narcotics. Obviously, in this state, we've had a big problem with pain meds and narcotics and opioids. I have a lot of my patients that were on those, and they're no longer on them.
That's
so
fantastic.
I'm very good. And the marijuana has a couple strains, one in the daytime, one at night usually. And the way we dispense that is you just come in for a consultation. We'll get you in, and we can give you a consult. And if you qualify for it, the state will get it to you.
I do appreciate it
All right,
very
thank
much.
you.
I appreciate your time, and again, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And if you'd like more information, valuable information, if you by chance live in Miami, Broward, or Palm Beach counties, and you need more info, and you're seeking the kind of therapies Dr. Baker offers, we encourage you to visit AllegianceOrthopedics.com. That's AllegianceOrthopedics.com, or just check out our website, thebalancingact.com. Coming up, overcoming the stigma of mental health issues. Healthy living is top of mind these days. When it comes to diet, nutrition, and fitness, there's really no shortage of resources. So why is it we seldom consider what is arguably the most important part of overall wellness, our mental health? Listen to this. 1 in 5 adults experience some form of mental health disorder throughout their lifetime. Of those afflicted, more than half fail to seek assistance. Here to help us understand why is Dr. Peter Ventre from Ventre Medical. Welcome, doctor.
Glad to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy you're here because I think this is really an important topic. First, let's talk about what is mental health and why it's important to understand it.
So mental health is our daily living. How do you think about things, how you worry about things, how you interact with people, how you work, how do you concentrate, how you sleep.
Truly, it affects even your entire life, your work, your space, friendships, love, I mean, everything. What are some signs and symptoms of mental health disorders, doctor?
Mental health is something that impair your life. Symptoms that we can look for, lack of sleep, lack of appetite, depression, sadness, feeling overwhelmed, concerns about concentration at work. They feel aloof. They don't feel they're adequate to interact with other people.
And are these conditions, disorders linked to something? And is it something you see a lot in your practice?
And all is a multifactorial. We have the genetic component, we have the environmental component.
Nature versus nurture.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you know that your father was an alcoholic or is an alcoholic, be careful. You have to tweak a little bit the drinking behavior because you can end it in the same way. And then we have the interaction of everyday traumas, a bad divorce or a loss of a loved one. And now you have to encounter the daily activities that is more difficult for you because of these traumas.
And are these conditions linked to something, doctor? And I'm imagining this is what you see in your practice daily.
Every symptomatology might be attached or correlate with a specific disorder. Can be bipolar, can be depression, can be schizophrenia, can be ADHD, can be anxiety.
So at Ventre Medical, if someone comes in, what is the first step in how you identify and assess the patient and diagnose them?
The first thing is to see if there's no medical or organic cause. We need to do a CAT scan, blood work, MRIs to see what is going on. Number 2, we want to be sure what's your history. We have to be 100% sure that you have depression, no other comorbidities like OCD or bipolarity. So I always like to do a very thorough psychological and psychiatric examination before we pull the trigger and pick the right diagnosis.
Let's say you're diagnosed, you've assessed the patient. What is the treatment options there?
We have a variety of treatment. We have doctors board certified, we have therapists, we have nurses, we have a research institute as well. We are extremely versatile, and that is always a treatment option.
Do you use medications, or is it kind of like you have to evaluate the patient first to figure out what they need?
I'm extremely careful with the medications. So if you have a common cold, you come to me and I prescribe you right away antibiotics. that is not the right way. So I have to listen to you. Probably you need to talk to someone. You need therapy. You need more exercise. You need to eat a little bit better. You need to change lifestyle. And then if that doesn't do it for you, then we have to look a little bit deeper into the problem and maybe go to the traditional medication.
And what are the alternative treatments for patients?
Like any other areas of medicine, we have evolved so much. There's certain treatments right now in scientific base that can substitute or be a very good alternative for medication. For example,
as?
TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation.
What is that?
TMS is a new magnet, and that magnetic impulse basically activates your brain cells and tells the brain cells, let's start producing all those chemicals that you were lacking for many, many years.
Like the serotonin and norepinephrine?
And everything, yes.
So they feel happier, they feel better. What do you see after they've gotten the treatment?
I have seen patients who have failed every single therapy, every single cocktail, combination of medication, coming to TMS, and in less than 10 treatments, they're smiling, they're doing better. That's completely painless and is extremely, extremely
FDA
safe.
regulated?
It's FDA approved.
I know you have a passion for this. You've been doing this for a long time. It must make you feel so rewarded.
When you make that life better, you make other people's life better. It's like a domino effect. If you're doing well, your family's doing well, your coworkers doing well. So that is very important for me.
For a viewer out there who maybe has been wanting to get help, who's thinking of maybe going to Ventre Medical, but just doesn't have the courage, what would you say, doctor?
Just call our office. We're extremely open-minded. We are completely confidential. Don't let that drag you down. You're one phone call away to feel much better.
That's right. For our viewers who'd like more information, where do they go? What's the website, doctor?
They can go to ventremedical.com. And like I said, it's all about continuity of care. Know that you can change, that this doesn't have to stick with you forever, and we have the solution. Everything in life has solution.
Absolutely. Life is certainly worth it.
Thank you,
Thank you
Olga.
so much, doctor.
Thank
God
you very
bless you
much.
for what you do. And if you'd like more information on Ventre Medical, you could also check out our website, and that's thebalancingact.com. For more than 50 years, Gulfstream Media has been delivering award-winning content right here in South Florida. Glossy, high-end magazines spotlighting local trends, fashion, interior design, and so much more. Joining me this morning is Mark Corbett, Associate Publisher of Gold Coast Magazine, and Alyssa Morlacki, Managing Editor of Gold Coast Magazine. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
50 years. That's fantastic. Wow. What a wonderful goal to get to.
Thank you so much.
And I heard there was a huge gala.
There absolutely
All right,
was.
how much fun was it?
It was
A lot of fun.
mind-blowing. It was
Yeah.
mind-blowing. We had the who's who of Fort Lauderdale came out.
Of course.
And, of course, Bernie McCormick, our founder, was there in all his glory. And with his connections and the people that he has worked with through the years, it just made it a party of, well, for us, the party of the century.
All right, you mentioned Bernie McCormick. I know that's a
Yes.
big name. Take me back in time. I think it all started, correct me if I'm wrong, in 65?
65. It was a great time in South Florida. It was the time when South Florida was really growing up and starting to boom. It was taking it from that, tropical paradise to a place to live, a true destination. So all of the things that we enjoy today, we're just beginning. Parker Playhouse and the schools in Nova and Coral Springs at the time was a place where celebrities would come down and invest money. Johnny Carson came down and Ed McMahon, they invested money. So it was a very different climate, a very, very different landscape at the time, but it built what we have today, and it was a very exciting time. Bernie McCormick actually was working with Philadelphia Magazine as a star editor, and he saw a vision, and he heard about this Gold Coast magazine that was getting started, and he said he wanted in. So he came down to Florida, didn't know much more about Florida other than the Mai Kai. It built, it grew, and with his connections and with what had already been started, Bernie just took it to multiple levels.
I love it, and I love looking at these old magazines. I mean, look at this. This is fantastic. This is some of the beginning ones, right? There's
Yes,
Burt Reynolds.
yes.
You've got JFK. I mean, look how old these look. These are staples.
Oh, Yes, yes.
Right, Alyssa?
Yeah.
We love looking through those and looking at the old advertisers, which are still with us today. Carol's Jewelers, Moss and Hoffman, people on Las Olas Boulevard that were around 50 years ago are still with us today.
That's
And
fantastic.
That's really cool.
Now, let's talk about today. Look at this
Yeah.
fantastic magazine. Tell me a little bit about it. I know it's very trendy, it's local, and that's
Yeah.
what people like about it.
So it's crazy to think that we went from there to this glossy magazine. We cover everything in there from fashion to beauty and travel. We also do a lot of regional stuff. So a new restaurant that's in town or boutiques that have just opened on Las Olas or, all of that.
So it's great because you really just localize it to your area. And not only did you just do it with Gold Coast Magazine, I mean, there are 6 behind you. You got Gold Coast, Fort Lauderdale, Boca Life, Jupiter, the Palm Beach or Stewart Magazine. You just kept growing, Mark.
Absolutely, yes.
Tell me about those there.
Well, we had to expand the market for advertiser reach, basically, because today there are many regional advertisers that want to reach from Fort Lauderdale up to Stewart. So we built a publication. We do have some common stories that run throughout that are applicable to all markets. That's how we do it. So we really flood the market. We have 86,000 magazines every month, just in our lifestyle brand that goes up the east coast of Florida.
And it hasn't stopped there. Rumor has it, I think you launched a new magazine.
We did, yeah.
Another one. Who says magazines are a thing of the past?
They are not.
I love them. So tell me about the new one. It just launched?
It did, yes. In January, we had our first issue, Florida Home and Garden. It's one of the topics that people still love to read in a paper magazine. It's not so much your Pinterest DIY, it's more aspirational. You're gonna need a team to pull off the kind of stuff that we are covering.
All right, Alyssa, for our viewers who'd like more information on all these fabulous magazines and, of course, the launch of the new one, Florida Home and Garden, where do they go?
You can go to FortLauderdaleDaily.com.
FortLauderdaleDaily.com. Thank you so much. Continued success.
Thank you so much.
And do I get an invite to the next gala?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. And for more information, you can go to our website, and that's thebalancingact.com.
Thanks for joining us on this South Florida edition of The Balancing Act.
We hope to see you next time. Take care.